anyway, speaking of lyrical geniuses, you know, I think Lamar Jackson is a lyrical genius for this latest bar that he came up with, which was, I don't need to have a guaranteed contract. I just want to have more guaranteed money than what Deshaun Watson's deal has. Now, to me, I think that's a bar. And honestly, why would I have a problem? Why would anyone have a problem with Lamar Jackson saying those words? Like, give me y'all's take on this. First of all, do you find this to be sensible, and do you think that this is something that makes maybe anyone out there a tad bit more interested in possibly wanting to engage Lamar Jackson?
That's fair. I believe that's fair. This is how the league works when it comes to the quarterback position. We didn't set these protocols. The National Football League set these protocols. It doesn't matter if you're better than this guy. When the next quarterback comes up, you just jump him. They set this protocol. This is something that they've done for years. And so if Lamar is saying, okay, I just want more guaranteed money than Deshaun Watson, I believe that's more than fair. In my opinion, for Lamar Jackson, I don't believe it's the best deal for him, because when you're talking over more than Deshaun Watson, that's $230 million guaranteed. And so that's a really long-term contract. I think he may be better off going a shorter-term contract, and then you get on contract number 3. Salary cap is higher, you're going to make more money. But what do I know? But if that's the case, to me, we should see some action. And I truly believe once this draft is over, teams that don't get the young quarterback they were looking for and hoping to get may make a run at Lamar Jackson. Teams that draft in the top 10 may make a run at Lamar Jackson, because if we have Lamar Jackson on our team, we're not going to be drafted in the top 10. And these 2 first-round picks we give you will be late first-round picks, so it's well worth it.
Man, we've had this conversation over the past 3 or 4 weeks, man, and he is standing firm exactly for what he believes in, and he is going to get what he think his value is, and if he believes and thinks that he wants, he deserves more money than Deshaun Watson, he absolutely does. I think there's 3 or 4 guys that just jump off the page immediately of salary of who he should be getting paid more money for. Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, Daniel Jones, and now Deshaun Watson. He has performed over the last for his first part of his career better than any of them.
Better? I mean, they're not even on the same page, bro.
So that's what I'm saying.
What if they bring health into the scenario? What if people are saying
he's missed
Lamar's
11 games in 2 years?
Hey, LaVar, bring
he's missed
health
11
into
games
it.
in 2 years.
We all know if he has a long-term contract, those 11 games that he's missed, 6 of those was last year. We'd probably say 3 to 4 max last year. He's coming back to play. He's coming back to play. Everybody knows it.
All right, let me ask you guys this. When talking about Lamar Jackson and this being the possibility or the direction you go down, I agree with you, TJ, on the whole idea the next guy's up. And, hey, listen, Dak Prescott had to get his ankle redone. Like, he got bionic ankle now. And he got his deal coming off of one of the most grotesque injuries that you'll see in the league. So you can't put it on the health, because Dak got a contract coming out of a season that he missed due to an injury. So if we're trying to use injuries, it's all up to interpretation. I just wonder, and you guys tell me, has he done more damage to himself to if you have somebody giving you the right information, or someone who's certified? I'm not a big agent guy, but even if you did have an agent that you paid on an hourly basis, which is always my contention, do you think that somebody says, you know what, Lamar, go about it this way? Maybe somebody with some real knowledge has told him, like, look, don't go for a fully guaranteed contract. That's going to scare these teams away. Teams have always in the past, like we said, given more money to a player that's next up at that position, that's the top of their position. But at that at that same point, people aren't giving out guaranteed contracts. Minnesota gave out a guaranteed contract. Cleveland just gave out a guaranteed contract. But that's not something that these franchises are going to be willing to do, and it's purely based upon load management and control. You're not going to be able to control these players.
You know what it's based on, LaVar? You know what it's based on? It's based on this. These teams have relationships with these agents. And these agents, they haven't pushed for guaranteed contracts because of the relationships they have with owners and general managers.
Too comfortable.
These are long-standing relationships.
Right.
20, 30 years. Well, so-and-so, this is what we can do. And they sit down and they hash over things because now I'm going to do this owner a solid. TJ. I'm going to do this general manager a solid, and he's going to do me a solid in a year or two when it comes to this next player that I represent.
So it ain't
That's
just colluding.
What happens.
It's not just colluding amongst owners.
No,
it's colluding
relationships
amongst
that they
agents
have
too.
with the agents. The top agents have been the top agents for years. They have relationships.
An agent ain't going to sell himself out and sell his relationship
Not
out
for one player.
Not for one player.
No, because if I look after you right now, you're going to look after me later. And this is where I believe Lamar should have an agent. You don't have to pay him a percent. You can say, I'm giving you X. The fact that you represent Lamar Jackson,
you can leverage.
If you're that agent,
that way,
you leverage that to get other clients. And so it's well worth it if you're Lamar. It's well worth it if you're the agent. So think
if an agent goes to an organization that says, listen, Lamar doesn't want a fully guaranteed contract, meaning you don't have to put this in escrow, the amount of money that it would take. But we want to have more guaranteed money in his contract than what Watson has. You think the deal gets done?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. When you do contract negotiations, this is what we don't like, X, Y, Z. You think they're going to tell Lamar Jackson this is what we don't like about you? Because he's negotiating. They're negotiating with him.
With him.
It's a lot of, okay, we're going to bring you down so that we can bring this price down. You start bringing up personal things.
And you got to hear it.
It becomes offensive.
Oh, yeah.
They're not doing that. And so
it's turned personal.
Just instead of trying to save $500,000, it's worth if he can get an agent and pay him X amount. You can tell the agent what you're going to pay him, and guess what they're going to say? Okay.
Right.
They're going to say okay, but it's relationships, man. You look at CAA and Athletes First and whomever else is a big agent. This is all about relationships. They don't want to damage relationships on either side because you look after me, I look after you, and this is year after year after year.